know it's been a little while since I made a video. You know, the weather's been a little bit bad and stuff, and I just really haven't felt like it. So I'm out here in the barn today, and it's a total mess in here. I've got to start cleaning it up. But, you know, it's just one of the things. And then the tractor, you know, it drags dirt in here like crazy. Every time I'm in and out, it's got to do that. So I've got to start piddling on cleaning it up. It's probably going to take me several days, maybe even a week piddling. At the other time, and go over that here in a little bit, started my seedlings out here. I've got them under this plastic thing on the table over there. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. Started them out here, and I've been working on the garden area out there, trying to get it ready to where I can start planting and try to get my plants in the ground towards the end of March. And also, you know, back to the tractor, and we'll be doing some stuff on that. I'll have a friend right here get up and kind of show you what I'm doing to get the wire down the front end loader too, because on the Mahindra 1526 they have the hydraulic lines going inside the boom frame and not on the outside like you have in a lot of tractors. So I'm going to do the same thing with the wire going to the front camera. And so I have that going in there. So anyway, this stupid phone's driving me crazy with this doodle stuff. And I have not figured out what it's trying to tell me. It's driving me nuts. But yeah, like I said, so anyway, I've got a lot going on here, a lot of cleanup to do, got a lot of projects coming up, so hopefully we'll start getting some videos going here. And I'm going to pack together a few little things, put together a video for today. All right, what we've done is I've got a fish tape here, and just an old one I had from back when I was in the electrical business a long time ago. Anyway, the hydraulic lines, you know, come through the boom right here, come out to the front end loader. So what I did was took the fish tape and pushed it on up in there, so it'd go on down the boom on the inside, and of course it came out right here. And so we've got the fish tape here, and then because I'm not going to trust the front end loader to maintain ground because it just sits in a cradle here, I've added an extra wire. I didn't have anything real good, so this old piece of heavy duty speaker wire, just one strand of it, and then I've curled these around the hook on the fish tape and taped them, and we're going to see if I can get those pulled through there. So I'm going to put the camera on the mount and see if I can pull these through. So hopefully we can see it right there. The good thing about this is I can reach both sides, so I can feed it while I pull it. So it'll be relatively easy. There it will. There we go. And get past that one tight spot. And here we are. So we're out on this end. Untape all this. So there we go. Hopefully you can see this on the camera. So here's my cable for the plug into the camera for the video, and then they include inside this deal wire to use for the 12-volt positive, but there's no negative included in there, because typically you would just use the vehicle chassis ground. But like I said, because the front end loader comes on and off, it just sits in the mount cradle, it could very easily lose 12-volt ground, and it not constant, so the camera would cut in and cut off. So I've pulled this wire as the ground. So what we'll do on those is I'll just here in a little bit, right now I'm going to tie those up out of the way, but then we'll eventually be able to just bring these up and do that. And I'll probably get a little bit of wire loom and shove around there, just so there's just nothing sharp here, but just be a little bit extra protection. And then down here, of course, I've got a lot of cable, but that's just what I had. I may go look, I've got some other video patch cables, and I may use them that are shorter instead of using this cable that came with the cameras. But anyway, you can see how easy that was. I mean, it just pulled right through there, and so we'll get that around. Then I'll end up tie wrapping these to the hydraulic shrouding, and we'll be good to go. So that'll get my powered single wire up, go here on the camera that's going to be forward facing. So I haven't really looked at where I'm going to put the one on the back yet, but hopefully here in the next week or something I'll get around to actually putting the camera system on the tractor. Well, I ended up changing this out. I pulled that other out, and I had a AV patch cable, you know, for audio and video. It was a lot shorter, and I went ahead and pulled it through there. So this is a lot less length here, be just about right. So I'll go ahead and use the yellow for the video, and then the red I'll end up using for the DC power to the camera. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up changing that over. Come down here. I'll later be tying this down so it loops up, and when I disconnect the front end, if I ever take it off, it'll just unplug it and everything comes on off. All right, so I'm gonna go back now and take a look. Like I said, look at the mess. You know, I rebuilt transmission in my truck in here. I did a lot of work this fall and stuff, and I just got things everywhere. There's going to be a good cleaning has to go on in here. So everybody just make fun of my big mess, because it is a mess right now. I had this all spotless at one time, believe it or not. Anyway, okay, my little temporary seedling greenhouse here. Let's see if I can get over here. I got a cord stretched across because I'm charging a battery. Hopefully this will come out on there. It's kind of lighted, I know. This is the, if you remember, I made the video where I got the Parks biodomes and stuff. These seeds have been planted. I'll take the lids off on a minute so you can see a little bit better. But these seeds have been planted in here. Let's see, I put them in Saturday. Today's Friday. So what? 6 days. This is the fastest I've ever seen seeds come up. So these biodomes are working really good. I'm gonna set the camera down here and take the lids off, and we're gonna take a look here. Okay. Yesterday, in this particular tray right here, only one seedling was up. It was this one was just barely up, about like this one is here. This is today. We've now got this one up, another one coming out there, this one. This is growing way on up. Got one coming out over there. These are squash back here. It's a zucchini squash. These are all Empress bush beans. They're like a string bean, but they grow in a bush. This whole one here in the back, that's all Empress. And you can see, I mean, this is totally amazing. Hopefully you can see through that lid there, but it's totally amazing the amount of growth that I am getting in such a short period of time there. Like I said, let me see if I can get those up. In fact, I'm gonna shut the camera off a minute, and I'm gonna take all the domes off, and that way we can get a good film of them. All right. There in the back, you can see in that second tray, these are the 18, what they call the jumbos, 18 cell. And those, that one back there is all Empress beans, bush beans. And that damn phone, I'm getting tired of this crap with this thing booping. It happens when I'm out here in the barn. Anyway, so it looks like my bush beans are going to be doing really good there. I can't really read my little labels I got on here, but I've got a variety of stuff. Now, these right through here, those are a giant sunflower. Figured I'd give it a try. But it looks like, for the most part, I got a little section. It's a little hard to see in there. I got one section that looks like 2 rows right in here. They're just now starting to come up. I'd have to check what those are. Everything else back there's coming up. Looks like so far maybe about 90% of everything in this one over here is coming up, and this is going to be a lot of tomatoes, different, some beefsteak tomatoes, some cherry tomatoes, some tomatillos, which are the green paper husk type of a tomato that is used for making like your well, your I'm going blank here, but anyway, your salsa, your Mexican salsa, the green Mexican salsa. There's some beets in there and some other stuff like that. A lot of cucumbers going on. So, like I said, you know, we got a lot of stuff here. This is okra right there. So I'm really pleased with these Parks biodomes. I mean, this is extremely fast that they've come up, and I really like the way that you water them, because it, and here these little trays kind of float and it wicks up. So you put your nutrient solution in there, and it wicks it up into the sponges. I'm trying to check my depth here. Yeah, okay. Now what I did is I've got, if you can see it over there, let me see if I can get the, right over there is a thermostat that is for this heating pad right here. Now it's got a probe that measures the temperature. You're supposed to stick it in the soil. Well, naturally there's no soil on here, and they tell you don't immerse it in water and stuff, so you can't really see it, but it's going in right here. What I did is I had a piece of foam, and down on this flat part right in here on the side, I cut a piece of that foam and taped it on there, and then I shoved the probe in between the foam and the plastic housing here, and then I taped it down through here so it would come off. So it's actually reading the temperature of the solution inside there. And so like I said, it says 83.6 right now. So it doesn't have this on because I think I got it set at like 75. But these lights that this light I have puts on a lot of heat as well too. I think I'm gonna later get me some LEDs and try them. They won't put out quite as much heat, but of course this is really not a bad deal here. But it looks like my little plants are going pretty good, so you know, won't be long. I'll be transplanting a lot of these into solo cups, and then from there on into the ground by the end of the month. Now what I'm probably going to do is in my little greenhouse over there, I've got 8 tomato plants, and they're like growing all the way to the roof and stuff. So I'm going to go in there in a couple days and start cloning off of them, and then I'm probably going to go ahead and remove them out of there in a couple of weeks, and by then some of these cucumbers will be up good enough, and I'll go ahead and I'm going to put some of the cucumbers in the hydroponics. And I'm going to try that. I'm going to try some hydroponic cucumbers. I'm also going to grow some in the ground. But anyway, all in all, about 200 plants right here, if everything comes up. And so far, it looks like it does. Another thing that Parks had claimed is, you know, you only need to put one seed in there. You get a 100% germination, and it looks to be the case. It looks like maybe one of the cauliflower back there is not doing too good, but that's besides the point. We'll see how these do, you know. I'm gonna let them sit here without the lid on for a little while and get some light. And I'll probably raise this light a little bit because it is putting out a lot of heat. And with those domes on, it's getting pretty hot in there. So anyway, we'll see how that goes.